All right, what's up? If you got any questions, put them in the chat. I don't know if you're on Facebook. I was having issues with the testing last time I was on there, getting the comments. So just be aware. For some reason, I'm not able to see the comments through Facebook. But if you're on YouTube, it should be fine. If you're on LinkedIn, it should be fine as well. All right. Put some questions in there. If you can, put something in the comments. I'll see if I can get it really quickly. But I wanted to hop on, go through some questions about AI because everybody's talking about it and marketing. What's up, Kyle? All right, good. That's working. Yeah. So, Kyle, for if you got any questions or anything, um, Megan, what's up? Yes, I can see your comment, Kyle, Megan. I can see both of y'all's comments there. So if you've got any questions, just specifically ask. I've got some that have come in a little while, but just talking about AI, marketing, sales, all of that. Yeah, I don't know if I'm a little delayed. So I'm seeing y'all's comments come in, but then it's showing like nobody's on. So hopefully this is working. Anyways, talking on AI, I actually was just on with a live for Sandler sales training, which was, obviously I've been working with AI for years now. Chat GPT just came about, which obviously has everybody talking big time about it. And it really is. It's a powerful tool if you use it the right way. Is it going to change everything, take over? Some careers maybe, but right now you need to start really looking at what's not what it can't take over moving forward. And I truly believe trust, credibility, and building human connection, emotional intelligence, all of that is going to continue to be a huge factor in the years to come. So you're going to need to really level up whenever it comes to personal, either your personal brand or your skill set, and how you leverage these tools in order to stay ahead. So there's a lot of things that it's going to be able to assist you with, which is what I've been finding out over the last 4 months or so, playing with Chat GPT, and what the capabilities are there. You can literally utilize it for a lot of tools. Now, whenever I talk about a lot of tools from Chat GPT and what you're going to be able to use it for, see a lot of what I'm seeing right now that people are doing is they are just asking it to write content for them, which for the years to come, even if you listen to some of the bigger players in the industry, whenever it comes to Chat GPT, it's really going to come to down the road. Where is this information coming from? Where is it pulling it from? Are there going to be copyright issues? All the stuff that we don't know about. So that's why you see a lot of big brands out there that have a lot more liability, not necessarily getting into it as much as small businesses. So that's something that we'll see play out. But the thing that I'm seeing right now with my utilization of Chat GPT and AI resources is that if you're just asking it to do things for you and create content for you, especially the more that you ask it, it gets very repetitive, and it will probably eventually figure itself out in the years to come. But right now, it's very hard for me just to go in and say, hey, Chat GPT, write me this post or write me this email, because there's no differentiator. Like, I want content that's going to be personalized to me, my brand, my tone, my voice. So that is why I've really been focusing on different systems, which obviously I'll be putting some in place, and I'll be sharing those as well in like a small little training. But it's really kind of changed the way that I've done things, because I'm not a writer, and I don't go in and write emails and post and all that stuff. I'm just an entrepreneur. I'm just a business owner, right? Like, I'm not a content creator and all that stuff. I create content. I do it because I know it needs to be done. You need to build a strong online presence in order to build a strong brand, especially a personal brand, which I would highly recommend everybody start really looking at how you can build your personal brand so you stay ahead in the years to come. You'll be way ahead of your competition because you'll have personalization. You'll have, more of a human connection, being able to build your personal brand. You'll have more credibility, more authority, but you'll also stay ahead of all this AI and tech revolution. So anyway, that's kind of just my high level rant that I'm going on, looking at questions. Yes. So somebody said I'm not live on Instagram, but I know that StreamYard doesn't do Instagram. It's just Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and I think there's some others like Twitch and all that, but I'm not on that. But Kyle's asking, what are the best tools to help out right now? I mean, look, ChatGPT you can't go wrong with, but in my opinion, people just aren't leveraging automation tools right. They're like, and this is stuff that's been available to everybody for at least us in the industry have known about automations and AI and machine learning for a lot of years now. Like if you're a sales professional or you're a solopreneur, you're a local business, and you aren't leveraging AI to help you with lead follow-up and connecting with a lead within the first few minutes, I mean, you are missing the boat entirely, especially if you're spending money on advertising or marketing or outbound in order to generate inbound opportunities. If you don't have that in place, which 98% of businesses don't, they aren't leveraging automation and tools and resources. Like AI has the ability to know that if somebody submits their information, it can automatically text them within a minute or 2 minutes. They can also automatically send them an email. But the biggest thing is you want them to interact, especially with that text. AI is able to determine whether or not their response to that text is positive or negative. A lot of people don't even realize that. And you can set up different flows for each. But if you aren't leveraging that, you're missing the boat entirely, because I can guarantee you, if you have somebody following up with lead flows that are coming in, they're not getting in touch with that lead or interacting or conversating with that lead within 5 minutes, which after 5 minutes in the world we live in today, you lose 80% of the opportunity to do business or actually get them to interact with you or to schedule an appointment or to hop on a call. So you need to have the tools that have been out there, whether that's your CRM, whether that's some type of automation tool, like, obviously, Kyle, we have ours, which is WebConnect IQ, which is just a form of go high level. Then you've got HubSpot, you got sales. You got so many different things that you can leverage and utilize whenever it comes to it. But most people have these tools and these systems, but they aren't using it, but maybe 5% of what it can do. And so all of this stuff has been available to us. ChatGPT has just opened up the doors so massively because it's new. And, I think there was a copywriting one, Jasper, that came out a couple of years ago, helping with writing copy, but there wasn't a big buzz because it still had to continue working on some things. But ChatGPT has really become just kind of just a ramped up search engine, for a lack of better terms, that can also, obviously it's so much more than just a search engine, but there's so much you can do with it, especially with the way that we're utilizing it. We're helping others kind of work their systems out by just being able to use their video or their audio and then turn that into emails and nurture campaigns and social media posts and all of that, which is something I'll be talking about as well, or at least introducing here shortly, just to see if I can help out. So anyway, great question though, Kyle. If y'all have any more, let me know whenever it comes to that. I'm looking at some of these others. How can AI help me analyze and make sense of the vast amounts of data generated? But so one question, are there ethical considerations or potential pitfalls when using AI for marketing, sales, and content creation? So this is a question. Are there any ethical considerations or potential pitfalls when using AI for marketing, sales, and content creation? The answer is we don't know yet. And that's everything as far as I know. Obviously, I didn't create this stuff. I'm just heavily involved in it because it is the future of business, it's the future of sales, marketing, everything that we talk about all the time. And I want to learn how to have AI assist in our efforts, not necessarily how to have it replace things. But we don't know yet. I do know for a fact, I have a peer that about 45 days ago, they had to get their legal team involved because somebody was able to basically take their whole sales page, their program title, and it was almost verbatim that they were using. And they found out through another source that contacted them and introduced them to that, and it became this whole, obviously, copyright, cease and desist, all of that stuff. And there's obviously, you've got to play out how they came about that. But from what I understand, ChatGPT had something to do with that, with pulling that information. I don't know the extent of that. I think a lot of big brands aren't necessarily leveraging it yet because there is so much unknown. I know Google early on, I think that they even had some things that they had to go through due to copyright and what it can pull and not. I mean, if it's just going out pulling information from a specific brand or a specific business, and that is proprietary to that business, but it's able to pull that and pull that in and then utilize that, then obviously that business or brand is probably going to have an issue with that. And so, ethically and all of that, I think it's unknown still. But that's why I would not just focus on how do I have AI or ChatGPT just generate content or creative for me, because you're not quite sure. The best way to utilize it is how can it assist me and how can it fill the gaps. That's one big thing. Me, as kind of more of a creative mindset, it has been kind of a right-hand partner for me, being able to accomplish things that in the past I would have to go out and hire somebody to do. And so I'll show y'all there's training that I'll be doing that will come out that will show some more on that I think will be great, specifically for entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, industry experts, small business owners. Let me see if anybody's on here. Are there alternates to ChatGPT, or is that the only AI option people should focus on right now? No, I think there are I think there are other options. I think the technology. Look, I'm not an expert whenever it comes to ChatGPT or the AI and everything that it's built on. I do know that there are other options out there. I don't know if there are other options because they're leveraging what ChatGPT is doing, if that makes sense. Like, they're just leveraging ChatGPT and they're layering on top of that. So I don't know if it's any different. ChatGPT, I think, is just kind of that ultimate, kind of the baseline and the foundational piece of it. Now, if somebody is on here, you've got more specifics whenever it comes to that, obviously let us know, comment down below. But I'm not an AI expert whenever it comes to that. But there are other alternatives out there, especially whenever you're looking for like copywriting and all that. There's softwares that have been out there for a while leveraging very similar technology to help with copywriting and content and things like that. ChatGPT, I think, is just kind of taking it to a little different level. And then everything that's coming out now that's chat related or chat AI is just, I want to say it's just layered on top of ChatGPT, but I don't know. That's my disclaimer. I'm not 100% positive on that, but there are other alternatives out there that people can leverage and utilize. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm trying to find these questions as well. Will AI replace human roles in marketing, sales, and content creation, or will it complement and enhance those roles? I think it's going to take. I truly believe that the top in the industries, in a lot of these industries, are going to just continue to catapult with the assistance of AI. I do think, just my honest opinion, that the lower level, whether that's sales, stuff that can be more repetitive or repeated, will somewhat be replaced. To a certain extent. That doesn't mean that it just goes to talk about the fact that start looking now, start getting yourself ingrained now with what these tools and these resources can do to help you level up your skill set and level up your creative thinking and level up the things that AI is not going to be able to do. I just saw something in one of my groups where they had a peer who called them that was a copywriter for a large organization. I want to say tens of thousands of employees, but I may be making that up. It was definitely over 1,000 employees, or maybe just 1,000 in the marketing department. I mean, it was something significantly high, and they contacted them upset because they were getting laid off because the company was having to scale back. And I think it was 85% of that marketing department was being let go, and 15%, I want to say, don't hold me to these numbers, but were being held on in order to manage the technology, in order to manage basically Chat GPT for copywriting and all of that, because it's not a perfect science. And I don't think that's going to be the case for years to come. But there's going to be a lot of things, like I said, that it's not going to be able to do. And the more and more AI, the tech revolution, all of this stuff becomes about, you got to think, and this is the way I think, is where are the opportunities whenever it comes to this, right? Like, this is inevitable, just like everything else as technology's been built has been inevitable. I mean, Blockbuster, now it's subscription services and Netflix and all that, and they're no longer there, and yada, yada, yada. All these things are going to continue to change, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to have a place. It's just people that are maybe in a very specific area because that's what you went to school for, or that's what you've just kind of started your career on. You have the ability and you have a skill set. Now it's just about thinking about that skill set in a different way, in a way that AI, and in fact, I look at it as an opportunity to get ahead and figure out ways that you can really separate yourself from everybody else. Because one thing that whenever you start talking about, especially for, I think, the next 5 to 10 years, everything's going to become so easy that it becomes mundane and generic and average, right? So if that's the case, and you got to think, because that's ultimately, it's convenience. Convenience wins a lot of the time. AI, Chat GPT is making things a lot more convenient and easy. If that's the case, then you're going to see the market flooded with a lot of noise out there that's extremely generic. And so how can you really separate yourself to have a little bit different outlook on managing this technology and managing AI to separate your brand, and still continue to be personalized and customized in your brand tone, voice, messaging, what you're putting out there and the content that you're putting out there to create and still have that emotional intelligence or that human connection, which AI wouldn't be able to do. So, building relationships as well through content, through social media is still fine. But that human interaction obviously is going to become big, and really being able to connect on that human level. So how can you, if you are worried about your position being taken over by AI, don't wait till it happens. Start looking at it now and say, okay, if I am a copywriter right now, how can I take what I know and what I've been doing, and then how can I start working with AI in order to generate my own new opportunity? Because it's going to become critical. Next thing you know, you're going to become a specialist in that area, and you're going to be way ahead of everybody else. So right now is a huge opportunity. And it even goes back to the personal branding side of stuff, because I do believe the gig economy is going to continue. I think Upwork and Fiverr did a study here recently where the gig economy is going to make up by 2027 like 50 or 60% of the workforce. And if that's the case, you need to start thinking about, how do I differentiate myself, and how do I build credibility and authority whenever it comes to my personal brand if I want to work as a freelancer or as a contractor, not be held to a corporation, but how do I continue to still get work? How do I continue to get picked over everybody else? Start looking at that now, even if you are working for someone, because at some point, even if AI takes over, because look, at the end of the day, corporations are looking at the bottom line. And if AI is going to do things more efficiently, more cost efficiently, then they're probably going to go in that direction. So if that's the case, start looking at it now. Don't wait, and start saying, okay, if that's it, I'm going to become, and this is what I truly believe, especially in the sales world, right? Like, people are going to need to become experts in their specific field. Specialists are going to be really, really valuable whenever it comes to the years to come, in my opinion. And if you just look at sales right now, the game has changed whenever it comes to selling. You know, people still are using old tactics from the mid 90s or mid 2000s, where now you're looking at something completely different, because back then the sales or the company still had control of the process for the most part. Now they don't control that information. The consumer gets all their information up front. So they're getting all this information from multiple different sources. They've got all this noise out there whenever it comes, and they really don't know who to trust, but they lean on what they're finding on their own, which comes back to a strong online presence, which comes back to content, which comes back to differentiating yourself and showing yourself as an expert in your field, which is going to at least allow them to consider doing business with you or your brand over everybody else. So if you're doing that good, you're at least going to get an appointment to talk with them. But once they come to you, you as a salesperson, they are coming to you with 90% of the information that they think that they need. But the thing is they don't know what to look out for. They don't know what the future brings. Only somebody who's an expert and a specialist in that industry, in that field, is going to be able to look ahead for them, identify any potential bottlenecks, any speed bumps that are going to allow them to have a bad experience. So, you know, you've got to become more of an expert in your specific field in order to help someone determine that what they think they need is exactly what they need, and they can be confident in making that purchase. So they're not looking, a bunch of the rapport and all this other stuff has been done up front. Like, they've gotten at least a little warmed up if they're reaching out and they're ready to connect. You've got to be able to take them from that point, and with all the information that they got in their head, you've got to help them decipher, okay, what's really right for them, first of all, out of the information they have, and then be able to tell them and really kind of provide them with the right move forward so that they can be confident in that. So I do believe that that's going to continue almost with every profession out there. So if you've got something and you are very passionate about, especially if the gig economy comes up, that's just going to be who's the better specialist for my specific need. And I do think with tech and the way that the market's going, it's going to be better off for corporations as well to bring in specialists. Like, somebody hires me to come in and look at their digital marketing, their digital selling systems, their customer success strategies in order to be more profitable and drive more revenue, because I specialize in that. And that's what I've been doing for almost 15 years, I guess, all in all. So becoming specialists in your field, but really figuring out, how do I leverage these tools and go ahead and get started so you're way ahead of everybody else and you stay ahead of everybody else and you become that go-to specialist and expert. So hopefully that answered the question. That was very long-winded, but that's a big one. And just so I kind of go back on that, especially with content creation, it's a game changer, and it can be if you look at it the right way. And if not, I would definitely tap into a coach or someone who can help you with doing that. All right, I'll take one more, and then I think we're up on the 30 minutes there. But how can AI assist in generating leads and improving the sales process? Automations, leveraging automations to the fullest extent is the first and foremost. Leveraging resources and nurture, and being able to then leverage AI and technology around creating content that actually drives your prospect through the buyer's journey. And that way, you're able to utilize ChatGPT to go in, find out pain points if you're trying to get in, and it can prompt ideas for maybe you're looking at specific industries. So you can go in and have it help you come up with different pain points, and then spark you to create content or videos or blogs or whatever you're looking to do that address those pain points, so you can speak directly to your consumer, which is automatically going to at least capture their attention and create awareness. And then AI with the ability to create that content, to stay in front of them, to show your expertise, to create videos and be able to market across these digital platforms to help build trust and continue with those touch points, and interact with that customer or with that prospect ahead of time, so that then you can get to the conversion part, which is they've been through, you've built credibility, you build trust, and leveraging these tools and these resources to be able to do that, create content that speaks to them in order to create credibility and authority through those channels as well. Now you get to the conversion process, where once they come in, you're leveraging automation, you're leveraging different types of selling mechanisms that warm them up and get them ready and prepared for the meeting that you have with them. And then at that point, as far as the sales goes, I mean, there's so many things that you can leverage whenever it comes to just objection handling, leveraging AI and these tools that can at least provide you with a template or something to help you come back with a good response to an objection. It is that powerful. Now you're going to have to take that and make it your own, or tailor it towards your specific scenario. But just getting outside and unblocked, so to speak, whenever it comes to your sales process, is going to help you, even from proposal creation and contract creation. I mean, it allows you to do that. So it helps you to eliminate a lot of time. It obviously can do things like lead scoring. So if they're interacting with certain things, it alerts you, like your website or emails, or they're opening up different campaigns that you have, watching certain videos. It alerts you and lets you know after a certain amount of touch points, or that they're doing certain interactions, so they're probably warmed up, and you need to reach out to them as a sales rep to make that human to human interaction, and it's time to do that, and just staying top of mind after that. So there's so much that it can be done. I mean, I'm kind of jumping around here because there's so many different things that it can do. I could break it down into each segment and talk about that. And maybe that's what I do next week. So anyway, appreciate everybody submitting the questions. Any other ones before I hop off here? Let's see. I'm pretty sure I'm not seeing. If you're on, I'm not seeing any questions from YouTube or Facebook. So I'm sorry if there are any being submitted on there. I'm just not seeing it. So I'll continue working on that whenever I go live next week. And I will go back into live and see and respond back to any on there after this. So anyway, everybody be good. Let me know if you have any issues. Go to linchpincoach.com. If there's anything I can help out with, schedule a blueprint session. Would love to speak with you and help you out in any way. Keep crushing it. Talk soon.